Hello everyone. So we have been discussing history of English literature for the students, for the benefit of students, those who are preparing for UGC, JRF, NET and state eligibility test of different states, as well as common entrance test for post-graduation and research entrance tests of different universities. And those who wanted to know about history of English literature for with the benefit of students, we have been discussing history of literature in different periods and groups. Today we are going to discuss about very important aspect in the history of English literature, that is Middle English period. We know that how Middle English is important. So Middle English is between 1066 to 1500. So it is very important age in the history of English literature. We know that the period started with the Norman conquest in 1066 and ended at the close of the 15th century. There are two shorter ages within this period. We know that how those two shorter ages are. The first one, 1066 to 1340, is called Anglo-Norman period because the literature of that period was written mainly Anglo-Norman. The French dialect spoken by the new ruling class of England. The period from 1340 to 1400 is called the Age of Chaucer because Chaucer, the great poet, dominated that period. Particularly, this period is known as Chaucerian period. The early part of Middle Ages is called Dark Ages because what actually happened during that time can hardly be known. So this is the historical importance of Middle English period. And now I'd like to discuss the important facts which influenced the literature of this period. What are the important factors? The first important factor in the Middle English period is the English Parliament was established in 1625. Sorry, 1295. English Parliament was established. Crusade, the religious battle between Muslims and Christians, took place in between 11th and 13th century. That is also important factor. We know very popular incident, Magna Carta, the great charter which limited the power of monarchy, was passed on 15th June 1215. So that is also another important factor which influenced the writers. Another important factor, the most important point is in 1362, English was declared to be the language of law and courts. 1362, English was declared to be the language of law and courts. Another important point is the feudal system, which had very strong earlier, collapsed after the Black Death, a plague in 1348 and 49. We know in the 14th century, Reformation of English Church began under the leadership of John Wycliffe. That is also another important factor. We know how printing press was established in 1476 with the support of William Caxton. William Caxton established a printing press in 1476. So these are all important factors. Another important factor is related to the Renaissance. Renaissance began with the fall of the Constantinople in 1453. Muhammad II, the Sultan of Ottoman Turks and a crusader, defeated the Christians in 1453 and occupied Constantinople the then capital of Byzantine Empire and the center of classical learning. After the defeat, the Christian scholars, after the defeat, the Christian scholars fled to the different parts of Europe where they spread their knowledge. Thus, ancient learning started reviving. This revival of the classical knowledge is called Renaissance. Its features are curiosity about the unknown, patriotism, desire for unlimited wealth and power, love of adventures, admiration of beauty, care for humanism, and fondness for the past. These are all incidents of most of the issues of Renaissance. This Renaissance incident also helped the writers to write writings in the Middle English period. We know Columbus, how Columbus discovered America in 1492, and at the same time, Vasco da Gama reached India in 1498. And another important point is, during this period, Copernicus, we know how Copernicus is also part of this Middle English period, proved that the sun is the center of all planets. Copernicus lived between 1473 to 1543. Columbus, Vasco da Gama, and Copernicus are important personalities of Middle English period. These are all important facts which influenced the writers to produce wonderful literature of Middle English period. With these influences, we know many number of writers started their writings. So I'd like to discuss major writers of this period along with their major works. The first important writer of this period, John Wycliffe. We know John Wycliffe was born on 1324 and lived up to 84. He is called the father of English prose. You see, John Wycliffe is called father of English prose. And another important work is the Bible, translated into English from Latin by John Wycliffe. So that is important work as well as important writer. John Gower, another important writer of this period between 1325 to 1408. His popular work is Confessio Amantis. We know another important writer of this period, and we discussed the name itself proved, and we are discussing about the popular writer of Middle English period is Geoffrey Chaucer. Geoffrey Chaucer was born on 1340 and lived up to 1400. The popular works of Geoffrey Chaucer is Troilus and Cressida. It was written in 1387. And another important work, popular book, is Canterbury Tales. It was around 1385 to 1400. So Chaucer's two important works. There are other works also. Another important writer of this period is William Longland. He is between 1330 to 1382. So one of very important work is Piers Plowman. It was written in 1362. So another important writer of this period is Sir Thomas Malory. His popular work is Mauti the Other, published in 1485. Mauti the Other is known as the first romance in prose. So these are all major writers and their major works of Middle English period. So main literary features of these works, whatever works we discuss, what are the main literary features of this age? The first point is, from this age, poetry serves as the major genre. Second important point is prose in English. Prose in English gets a strong foundation. Another important point is the English language reaches a considerable standard through old spelling continues. Very important point, English language reaches a considerable standard through old spelling continues. Drama began in the form of mystery play. Drama began in the form of mystery play, morality play, and interlude. The writers of the age are influenced by Dante, Petrarch, and Boccaccio. Those three important writers, writers of this age got a lot of influence from those three important personalities. Here, love, chivalry, and religion are three main literary subjects of this period. And very important point from this period is the spirit of romance. The spirit of romance dominates the age. And very important point is use of pentameter. Pentameter in the sense 10 syllables in each line. Pentameter means 10 syllables in each line begins. End rhythm is introduced. End rhythm is introduced in this page. The last point is stress alliteration is discarded and humor, irony, and satire are brought into the practice of this age. So these are all major literary features of this age which we could identify in the writings of Middle English age. Thank you. Thank you very much.